tariffs are a tax on consumers, and I'm not a fan of jacking up taxes on American consumers.
There's no question about it. Tariff is a tax.
Conservatives used to understand that tariffs are taxes on the American people.
It's not even your average tax hike either, by the way. Tariffs are effectively a regressive tax, meaning the less money you have, the harder you get hit. Even after Trump's reversal, the tariffs on countries including Brazil and Colombia remain unchanged. And what that basically means is that the two biggest producers of U.S. coffee, Brazil and Colombia, your daily cups, if you're me, I should say, will most likely be getting more expensive because their tariffs on them remain in place. And the disruption could also make holiday shopping difficult. I know it's a while away, but here's what one toy company CEO told the Today Show on Thursday.
80% of the toys will be twice as expensive this Christmas as they were last Christmas. There'll likely, in particular with toys, be a shortage of toys this Christmas. I mean, even a short-term disruption will upset the flow of goods.
Merry Christmas, everyone. There are fewer toys and they are more expensive. Keep in mind, all of this happened on the same week, during the same week, when House Republicans passed a budget that could also include massive cuts to Medicaid. So they're making everything from healthcare to holiday toys more expensive for.
There are a lot of words I could use to describe Donald Trump's tariffs. Idiotic comes to mind. Corrupt, but chaotic is the one that really sticks with me. There is chaos everywhere because of Donald Trump, in the U.S. economy, in the global economy, and even in his White House, where there is a civil war breaking out right now over these tariffs. Tariffs that have also caused a civil war in the Republican caucus in Congress. But the one happening in the White House is much, much worse because, as I've continued to say throughout this entire tariff experience, Donald Trump and his team just can't get on message. And that inability for them to say the same line of BS, cause believe me, it is BS, has them at each other's throats. And we are going to get into all of the chaos that really makes me happy. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video. And if you haven't already and you enjoy this channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really does mean a lot to me. Now, there are a lot of reasons why this civil war is taking place, but the biggest one is an interview that Howard Lutnick did just this morning, and it gives us the context we need for why there's so much fighting.
So let's start with that news.
It's my pleasure.
Let's start with that news late Friday, this exemption on electronics, smartphones, laptop computers, and the like. What's the thinking? Why the exemption?
Well, if you remember, over the past couple of months, President Trump has called out pharmaceuticals and semiconductors and autos. He called them sector tariffs, and those are not available for negotiation. They are just going to be part of making sure we reshore the core national security items that need to be made in this country. We need to make medicine in this country. We learned it during COVID. We need to make it in this country. We need to make semiconductors, because if we don't own semiconductors here, remember, virtually all semiconductors are made now in Taiwan and they're finished in China. It's important that we reshore them. And so the president is going to come out with his policies on semiconductors and pharmaceuticals. They're going to be outside the reciprocal tariffs. And he was just making sure everyone understood that all of these products are outside the reciprocal tariffs, and they are going to have their own separate way of being considered.
But wait a minute. I'm asking you about the exemption, not about, I mean, the notice that went out Friday night saying that electronics, a wide range of electronics, including smartphones, including components used to make microchips, that these are now exempt from the reciprocal tariffs. Why that move?
Well, remember, those products are going to be part of the semiconductor sectoral tariffs, which are coming. So you're going to see this week there'll be a register in the Federal Registry. There'll be a notice put out that is different types of work. So we're going to do that. We did that in autos. The president's going to do it for pharmaceuticals, and he's going to do it for semiconductors. So all those products are going to come under semiconductors, and they're going to have a special focused type of tariff to make sure that those products get reshored. We need to have semiconductors. We need to have chips, and we need to have flat panels. We need to have these things made in America. We can't be reliant on Southeast Asia for all of the things that operate for us. So what he's doing is he's saying they're exempt from the reciprocal tariffs, but they're included in the semiconductor tariffs, which are coming in probably a month or two. So these are coming soon. You shouldn't think this is really outside of it. Really think of it as being included in the semiconductor space, much like pharmaceuticals. These require special attention, and the president is on it.
So you're saying that the big tariffs on things like smartphones and laptops, iPhones, all those iPhones built in China, that those tariffs are temporarily off, but they're going to be coming right back on in another form in a month or so? Or what are you saying?
Correct. That's right. That's right. Semiconductors and pharmaceuticals will have a tariff model in order to encourage them to reshore, to be built in America. We need our medicines, and we need semiconductors and our electronics to be built in America.
This has been the story with Donald Trump's tariffs. He turns them on. He turns them back off. We say they're for jobs, but then we say they're for negotiating tariffs with other countries. And we don't actually care about bringing jobs back. But then we do want to bring the jobs back. But then we don't want those jobs. No one knows what is happening, even those in the White House. And it's the reason why Donald Trump keeps on flip-flopping, like we saw today. But that flip-flopping, that lack of a coherent message or idea, because, again, these tariffs are just idiotic and at the whims of Donald Trump, whose brain is melting, has led to a civil war that we can see in this article right here. Significant division in Trump. World after wrecking ball, ABC. Interview. Fox reporter. According to a Fox Business News correspondent, Donald Trump's Commerce Secretary has set off a panic at the White House over comments he made on ABC Sunday morning, where he created new doubts about Trump's tariff plan. Late Friday night, the administration announced there would be a tariff carve-out for specific electronics, such as laptops and iPhones coming from China. But Secretary Howard Lutnick created new confusion when speaking with This Week co-anchor Jonathan Karl. According to Lutnick, who already has his detractors in the Trump White House. So what Donald Trump's doing is he's saying they're exempt from the reciprocal tariffs, but they're included in the semiconductor tariffs, which are coming in probably a month or two. So these are coming soon. That led Fox's Charles Gasparino to jump on X and to report that Lutnick has set off a new and unnecessary firestorm when the administration is frantically still attempting to calm a very jittery Wall Street. Gasparino wrote, breaking, a senior Wall Street executive with ties to the Trump White House described Howard Lutnick's comments about the temporary nature of the tariff exemptions as off message. Now the market will open way down again, since it appears the administration is totally confused. Susie Wiles needs to get control of Lutnick. He is a wrecking ball. This is the point that I continue to come back to. What I am most surprised by is not that Donald Trump is a lunatic who does not understand tariffs. It's not that this is crashing our economy. Again, it's not that the people in his administration are unqualified for their jobs and destroying the global economy because of it. I'm surprised they don't have a singular message. You know, MAGA is always lying, but they're usually telling the same lie. This tariff plan is so idiotic, so historically bad, that not even MAGA can get together on one single narrative to push out. That's what surprised me the most, and this is another example of it. Howard Lutnick says that there are no carve-outs for the tariffs. Donald Trump announced that today after Howard Lutnick's interviews. Did he feel pressure? Does he feel embarrassed that China essentially said, yeah, we don't care what you're doing, and you're admitting defeat to us? That's a little bit embarrassing. There is no understanding. There is no coherent idea. There is no end goal that Donald Trump clearly wants to achieve with these tariffs, I guess, except for shorting the market. It's insider trading at this point. It's the only reasonable explanation for what's going on. Other than Donald Trump's brain is made of putty. That's what's happening right now, and at the expense of all of us. It is chaos. It is confusion. Like I said at the beginning of this video, he's being attacked for it by Republicans in Congress, and Democrats are seizing on that. And Jen Psaki broke it all down in this clip right here.
No matter how much he hates it, this still is a tax. And this isn't just some liberal talking point, by the way. Take a listen to some of these staunchest conservative Republicans in Washington.
Tariffs are a tax on consumers, and I'm not a fan of jacking up taxes on American consumers.
There's no question about it. Tariff as a tax.
Conservatives used to understand that tariffs are taxes on the American people.
It's not even your average tax hike either, by the way. Tariffs are effectively a regressive tax, meaning the less money you have, the harder you get hit. Even after Trump's reversal, the tariffs on countries including Brazil and Colombia remain unchanged. And what that basically means is that the two biggest producers of U.S. coffee, Brazil and Colombia, your daily cups, if you're me, I should say, will most likely be getting more expensive because their tariffs on them remain in place. And the disruption could also make holiday shopping difficult. I know it's a while away, but here's what one toy company CEO told the Today Show on Thursday.
80% of the toys will be twice as expensive this Christmas as they were last Christmas. There'll likely, in particular with toys, be a shortage of toys this Christmas. I mean, even a short-term disruption will upset the flow of goods.
Merry Christmas, everyone. There are fewer toys and they are more expensive. Keep in mind, all of this happened on the same week, during the same week, when House Republicans passed a budget that could also include massive cuts to Medicaid. So they're making everything from healthcare to holiday toys more expensive for most Americans. And when Trump says, which he keeps saying, it's a quote, great time to buy, that was his tweet, you have to ask yourself, great time for who exactly? Not most people. Now, the only silver lining here, if you could call it that, is that this is all being done in the light of day. Billionaires yucking it up in the Oval Office about how much money Donald Trump made them, billionaires bragging about buying access to the White House, and the cost of living going up for everyone else, which people are living every day. Turns out people are taking notice, a lot of people, of course they are. Millions have turned out at protests, shown up at town halls, and big rallies to demonstrate against what we've seen from this White House. And yesterday, Bernie Sanders and AOC held their latest Fight Oligarchy event, this one in Los Angeles. They said 36,000 people turned out for this rally. They also said it's the biggest crowd either of them have ever spoken to. And yeah, Bernie's message has kind of never been more relevant than it is right now.
Republicans are turning on Donald Trump, and Democrats are seizing the momentum of this moment. Certain Democrats are. I'd certainly like to see more Democrats doing so. But to call people to action, to get people to organize. We see AOC, we see Bernie, we see Jasmine Crockett, Cy Booker, and Mark Kelly just did a town hall today. Folks are out. Folks are on the platforms we need them to be. And they are using their voices to get voters, Republican, Independent, and of course Democrat alike, to come behind this unified message that we cannot let the idiots and the oligarchs run our country. And AOC hit on that in a really important clip right here.
So many of us know what it feels like for life to be one bad day, one bad piece of news, one major setback, from everything feeling like it's going to fall apart. And we don't have to live like this anymore, Utah. We can make a new world, a better country, where we can fight for the dignity of all people. And it looks like living wages, Utah. It looks like stable housing, Utah. It looks like guaranteed health care, Salt Lake City. And it looks like respect for all of our differences, no matter who we are or where we come from. Oligarchy or democracy. And we are here today because we choose democracy. We choose freedom.
This is our time to come together, to build a broader coalition of people who are fed up with who is running this country and why they are running it. And why they're running it is to serve the wealthiest people in the history of the world. We saw Donald Trump in the Oval Office, hemming it up with his billionaire buddies, saying he made $900 bill today. He made, $1.60 bill at the expense of all of us. That's not what we want. We want real leadership that Bernie and AOC are really delivering on. And it's good to see that. And we're going to be talking about it on this show every single day. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video. And if you stuck around to the end, you can drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you.